What are they?
Right, those are what they call alvins. They are newly hatched salmon fry. Those eggs that they have hatched from would have been deposited in the gravel on the headwaters of the Wye in November, early December. Depending on water temperature, it would take them anything from 70 to 100 odd days to hatch. Once they have hatched, they live off the yolk sac for about a fortnight, and eventually, after absorbing their yolk sac, as you can see, their yolk sac has completely gone on those. Little fellas riddle out the gravel, swim up into the river, and there they will start to feed on all sorts of little microorganisms in the river, little shrimps, fly larvae, all on the bed of the river. They will feed on those on the Wye for more or less 2 years, till they reach 4-5 inches long. During April, late April and early May, they'll get together in huge shoals. Just prior to them, what they call smolting, they look just like a small brown trout. The only difference being they've got like thumbprints up the side of the salmon. That's where you can tell the difference between quite a largish trout fry and a small salmon, is the thumbprints up the side. As they start to migrate down the river, they have a complete change. The scales go to a bright silver, and they look just like a small silver herring. They'll come swimming down the Wye. In its heyday, they would have come down in huge shoals, all the way down the Wye, from the headwaters right the way down and enter the Severn Estuary at Chepstow, down the Bristol Channel, into the Irish Sea, round the coast of Ireland, and all the way up to the Faroe Islands and Greenland, where once they get into the sea, they then turn into a really avid eating machine. And I wouldn't really know, but you could just imagine them eating, should we say, a pound of food, and they will nearly put on a half a pound of body weight, because the salmon smolt can go to sea in mid-May, about 4 or 5 inches long, weighing 3 or 4 ounces, weighing about 4 ounces, come back the following May as a fish of about 10 pounds. So once they've arrived, once they've gone to sea feeding, they have a really massive conversion rate.
How long does it take them to get to the size of that?
Right,
one there?
some of them overwinter and will spend what they call, become a 2 to 3 sea winter fish. A fish of 20 to 30 pounds will very likely have spent about 3 years at sea. A huge Wye salmon of 40 pounds plus would very likely have spent 5 years at sea before it comes back. You take the American salmon, the Pacific salmon, every one of those, after they've swam up those Canadian, Alaskan rivers, and we've all seen them on the telly, huge great shoals of them, every last one of those after they've spawned die. Whereas a percentage, although it is a small percentage, of our Atlantic salmon do manage to survive, do go back to sea, and can come back to spawn again.